皆さんこんにちは. It's me, Shogo.
And Harumi.
Another Wednesday night before the Musou Shinden Ryu online lessons. We're here to talk with you guys about a big change that might be happening to our life soon. Hopefully. 90, what, 5% will probably be happening.
You sure?
Wouldn't it? No?
I don't know.
There's only one person. There was only one slot and it was open for a long time, right? And we probably were able to make it on time to submit the paperwork and everything. So I think it's happening.
So.
Well, let's say 90% then.
Okay.
90% you be confident enough?
Don't expect too much.
Okay, we don't know what could happen.
Yes.
Okay, then everyone gets to know very soon. Because next week, by next week, yeah, everyone will be able to. We will know about the results too. You will be able to know about the results too. But I'm pretty sure you guys are wondering what we're talking about, right? The thing is, we made a big decision. You guys might have heard of us talking a little bit about this in the past, like live streams on Let's Ask Shogo, maybe even in the podcast too. I've absolutely talked about this once in one of the live streams we've done in Let's Ask Shogo when our kids were smaller.
Remember,
But in Japan, there's a saying that goes, mitsugo no tamashi, which means the soul of mitsugo no tamashi wa 100 made or something like that. Yeah.
mitsugo no tamashi 100 made.
Yes, or something like that, you know? And the meaning is that the first 3 years of your life, yes, is when your soul will be nurtured until you're 100 years old. Yeah. So the first 3 years of your life is really important. How you spend time with your parents and what you feel and all that kind of stuff is really important. So we have 3 kids, right? Our first and second are 2 daughters, and 2 older daughters. We did not let them go to preschool kind of thing, nurturing school. What do you call it? I don't know. Yeah, but the school before kindergarten. Yeah. We didn't want them to go to that kind of school, because we wanted to spend time with them as much as possible kind of thing. Yeah. But so until 3 years old, we didn't let them go to that kind of preschool kind of place. So finally from 3 years old, they would finally start going to kindergarten. And of course, we explained about that too, but we need them to socially, develop their, ability and skills as a person. So from there on, they need to start going to these places, and meet people and talk with them, communicate, all that kind of stuff. But until then, we wanted them to be as close to us as much as possible. And we were supposed to apply that for the same thing for our son too. And basically we have. Yeah, we have. Because there are some people who let their kids go to preschool, once they've turned like 1 year old, maybe even younger. Like before they turn 1 year old. Yeah, once
few months.
Yeah, like few months old. If the mom needs to go to work, and dad and mom both need to work, then they have to put their kids into preschool. Yeah, I don't know what the right nursery school you might call it. Yeah, Harumi will be looking it up for us on the side there. But yeah, so we didn't have to do that at least because Zen is already 2.5 years old now, so we didn't have to do that. But we decided that because, as you guys know, nursery school, that's what I thought, yep. So the thing is that you guys probably know that Harumi now recently goes outside to work as a kitsukeshi, as a kimono dresser and instructor, and I stay at home looking after Zen, our son, and all that kind of stuff. But I'm really, really sorry for my kids, but I'm definitely not the playable kind of father,
playable
kind of thing. And I don't really, because I was not that kind of child myself, I was like, I could go to a playground, but I really didn't know what I should be doing kind of person. I was more of a child who liked creative stuff, like playing with like Legos, and stuff like that, or just simply like drawing whatever picture I want to, not like based on a picture that already exists, but just something like letting my imagination, explode kind of thing was the person who I was. And that's really close to Nagi, by the way. Our second daughter is really like that.
Yeah.
She loves acting her own role that she just suddenly thinks above.
Interesting.
And she acts and she creates in her mind, and she's like, okay, so this desk right now is the ocean, or this floor over here is made of lava, and all that kind of stuff. And Daddy, right now I'm inside your stomach. I'm punching your stomach from the inside, all that kind of stuff. She's really, her imagination is really amazing. But that's really close to how I was when I was a child. So I wasn't really the kind of child who would like, go and play sports with other kids or like do typical like, puzzles, or like I wouldn't do stuff that already had answers, like fixed ways to play or do something. Yeah. So even when I stay with Zen all day long, I really don't know how to play with them, and I always try my best, but, as you guys know, too, I have the Raynaud syndrome, so my toes hurt, my fingers hurt. So if I try to do something for him, my fingers really, really hurt, try to pick him up or play with balls or stuff like that, with him, or, let him go up the slide or that kind of stuff. I have to pick him up. It really hurts and all that kind of stuff. So I'm really, really sorry that I really can't do so much for him. And he does seem very bored. He has a lot of energy left at the end of the day and all that kind of stuff, And we were like, well, to be honest, if we were looking at this situation right now, Harumi is a much better parent. She would actually go and play with the kids and really do stuff with them, So when Harumi was at home and I was working outside, probably would have been better for Zen to stay at home. But it's the opposite right now. So simply for Zen's health and his education and his well-being, probably him going to nursery school a little bit earlier is better, to be honest, because Harumi can't, stay at home all of a sudden just like she used to now because she has work to do. She can't do that anymore. We can't go back to how we used to do it, And because I've been changing some businesses, quitting some stuff, and starting new things and all that kind of stuff too, income-wise, as well as our company, it hasn't been so stable as it used to be anymore either. So we really both need to be working at the same time as well. So to make a long story short, it was a hard decision, but we made the decision that we'll let Zen start going to nursery school before he goes to kindergarten next year spring, which means he will also be not at home from almost the same time as kindergarten, so early in the morning till evening. So we'll probably have 8-9 hours maximum without him on every weekday. That's going to be a lot of time for us to work, so we'll be able to do a lot more and all that kind of stuff. But again, we said 90%, right? And the reason is because there's, of course, available seats for the nursery school. Not everyone who applies can just go in. So but there was basically this flyer out on the outside of the nursery school saying that we're happy to welcome new people for a long time. And Harumi was looking at that, she was a little bit concerned about that. And when we actually asked, last week, I think, or something, they were like, oh, there's actually one seat available, for one more child. And we're like, that's perfect. And I always talk about this too, but I really feel that our lives always gives us the best, the best that could ever happen. That's what we always try to believe in, no matter how hard or tough stuff happen in our lives. I always say that this is the best that can ever happen to our lives. If you think of it that way, it's necessary. I think a lot of other religions would teach you like that too. To accept what faces you and only the challenges that you can overcome come to you, kind of thing. But it's not, my beliefs are not based on any certain kind of religion, but it just came out of me. But so that's what I always try to believe in, no matter how hard things go. I always think that this is something I need to grow and evolve for the next stage. So considering that too, having one seat available in nursery school, that's that's perfect then, And we signed up for it. We went to do all the paperwork and all that kind of stuff to the city hall and all that kind of stuff on that day almost. Next day we finished everything. And they said they'll get the results in 2 weeks basically. So next week, by the time we're recording next week's Shogo Anatomies podcast, we'll know the results, and you guys will probably be able to know about it too. So we'll let you know as soon as possible. But so we were thinking that our schedule, our lifestyle will finally be different from next year's spring, right? We talked about this in the first video we posted in Last Shogo this year, saying that until this year, it's still going to be really, really hard, with less time, all that kind of stuff. But it's going to be a little bit earlier when, the timing. When our schedules, everything's going to be changing. So I'll have, Harumi and I both will have so much more time to do stuff, filming and working and, all the other stuff as well. So we were talking a little bit about if we really do, pass, and Zen really does enroll in the nursery school and stuff. We're talking a little bit about how or what we want to do. How will our schedule change? What do we want to do from June? So if he does go to nursery school, it's going to be from June. So it's going to be 10 months earlier than originally planned. So we have 10 months more time for me to do extra work. So that's a lot of progress probably,
So why I said it's 90%? Because I want you to help me to explain this, but
Okay.
We had those papers, right?
We had to do a lot of paperwork, talking about what our jobs are,
Yes,
what we
yes.
do for a living, how long we work, where we work,
and where we work, and how long does it take to the workplace.
Yeah, exactly. Community work,
and those have the points. And you need to earn the points.
Yep.
And so it's not like you are faster to whom, so the seat is for you. It's not that simple. You need to earn that point.
Yep.
And if someone's points is higher than you, then you don't have that seat.
It's really interesting. So what Harumi is trying to explain is that basically the available slots, seats in nursery school will be distributed to people who need those slots more. And you need to prove that through the paperwork. Saying, so these points are basically you earn these points, you prove these points, saying that I need my child to go to nursery school more than you do, kind of thing. See, my company is so much further away than your company, and I have worked so much longer than you. This is the kind of thing. So you need to prove these things so you can basically win the slot from the other parents.
Yes.
So maybe, for quite a long time though, there was one slot available, and no one was, fighting for it for a long time, right?
I hope so.
Yeah, so maybe by coincidence, someone at the exact same timing, signed up for it, and if they got more points than us, they might take the slot.
So that's the 10%.
Yeah, 10. I don't think 10% is a bit too high. Yeah, less than 5 probably.
Yeah,
we'll see
I
how
hope
it goes.
so.
Yeah, but to be honest, even if it doesn't actually work out, it's still, what should I say? I mean, that's how we were originally going to survive anyways, It's not like something that originally existed.
Yeah, I feel like you are hurting yourself.
Okay.
So, in my point of view, you're doing really good, like good father.
Okay.
For Zen, like playing with him, and you take him to a park every day.
And, of course.
I didn't take Nagi or Zen to park every day.
Well, it was because you had 2 kids, right?
Yeah, so maybe I was too tired or something. I chose I don't go anywhere. If I feel like happy, or I was happy. Healthy, okay. I can take them to
energy.
I can take them to the park, but you always, like, your fingers always hurt. But you will take them to, like, at least one, like, nearest park every day.
At least for an hour.
And play with him. You're doing great, and making lunch, dinner. So
washing dishes, and doing the laundry.
You're doing everything.
Not everything. But I like doing house chores, by the way, guys. It's something I like doing.
But as you said at the beginning in this podcast, I think you're, like, hurting yourself because you can't work.
Harumi and I are both that kind of person. We tend to expect that we do better, towards ourselves. Our expectations towards ourselves are quite high. So we tend to say that, I'm not doing good enough, that kind of stuff. That's probably one of the reasons why we should I say, continue working until we get the results, That's probably the reason why that's how we've been, making all of the past successes, in our business and such. But at the same time, though, when it goes in the wrong direction, though, it does start to do more damage than good. So so I
really want Zen to go to the kindergarten, nursery school.
Preschool,
because I want you to have more fun, like in job. Working. So that's the reason, the biggest reason that I have. Like, he's always already 2.5 years old. So I think he's big enough to go to a nursery school.
Exactly. I mean, we thought not just about how we are doing, but really more about how Zen would do. What's better for Zen? Absolutely for him to go to nursery school. The nursery schools are amazing. They take them to playgrounds, parks to play around. They sometimes, even if it's raining, they said they would walk around inside some schools that are right next to the nursery school, and they have tons of other friends and toys, and teachers teachers that are their professions are to look after them,
Yeah.
you know, because, you know, when Zen is at home, you know, when we didn't have kids, we were like, no, we were not going to let our kids watch YouTube. No iPads, no YouTubes. We are good parents. And look at us now. Right? Because that's the reality. Yeah, it happens to a lot of 90% of parents, I would say.
Yeah.
Are determined to be good parents, and they end up being average parents. You know,
I saw that kind of stories and
a lot of people make content about that. Yeah, so that's what happened to us too.
Yes.
Yeah, 3 kids and running our own business, just the 2 of us. You know, it has to happen. Yeah. I mean, there could be some people who are really powerful who would not let their kids, you know, not watch YouTube or have iPads. Even though they have their own business and, you know, they have more than 3 kids. And there's some people who do that, but we are not that kind of person. We can't pressure ourselves that much. Yeah, we're gonna get mentally ill if we keep on, you know, we trying to become someone who we aren't, you know. So yeah, but anyways, yeah. So the main topic, by the way, I'm so sorry for already talking about 60 minutes. I really hope that the situation of how nursery schools work in Japan was interesting for everyone. But anyways, yeah. So we were saying, if Zen actually starts going to nursery school from June, what would we want to do, right? Let's get back to that. Yeah, finally. Yeah. So first of all, I would absolutely want to try to make at least one short video on Let's Ask Shogo every day.
Great.
So I do make 3 short videos a week already on Let's Ask Shogo, I think, 2 to 3. But it'd be great if we can make more and try to make one video every day for Let's Ask Shogo. I think that'll be possible because, you know, I'll have basically more than 6 hours to work every day. So yeah, I'll definitely be able to write scripts and when I force myself to have to make a video every day, that means I need to write more scripts, which means I need to do more studying. Yeah, so that's a really good cycle. Yeah, when especially in the very beginning, when I started Let's Ask Show, because I really didn't know about anything. I did so much studying. I read a lot of books and, you know, all these different articles and met a lot of people and all that kind of stuff. But once I got to a certain point where I can basically answer like typical general questions about almost everything related to Japan. Yeah. You guys can come up to me and ask me about sushi. You can ask me about kabuki or sumo or whatever. And if it's a general level question, I can answer probably 99% of the questions. Like, why are sumo wrestlers fat in the first place, for example? Or like, why are sushi, like, I don't know, so expensive, let's say. Yeah, like, why are kabuki actors, why do they have so much makeup on their faces? I can answer all of these questions, you know, like maikos or geishas. And then at a certain point, I stopped studying as much as I used to in the past, you know, but I really feel that continuing to study is really necessary. Obviously, it's important that we continue studying no matter how old we get, you know. So forcing myself to have to make content every single day, especially recently, I've been narrowing down my content to katanas, budo, and men's kimono, right? You know, and of course, I will be talking about other cultures too if I'm interested in a topic, but yeah. So I really want to read more books. Yeah, try to get more input, you know, putting more information inside myself so I can make more videos. So that's one thing I want to do, making videos every day on Let's Ask Shogo. Something got in Haremi's eye. Yeah. Yeah. That's one thing, yeah. And the second thing, you guys know about the men's kimono lesson I recently started in Kyoto with Kato Shoten-san, the men's kimono shop. Again, the Kato Shoten-san last year, Christmas, they started this new shop in Kyoto, but it was a new shop. They haven't used the second floor for anything. So when we went to film with them, they said, you can go ahead and use it. I was like, okay, let's do a men's kimono lesson, activity kind of thing for travelers who are coming to Kyoto. If you're interested in learning about men's kimono, I'd probably be the best person to ask. So let's do that, right? Yeah. And the Viator page is already opened and it's ready to take reservations, to be honest. But at the same time, I haven't been advertising it at all. Yeah. And it's already a bit of a difficult, should I say, activity, right? It's not like something that like katanas or I don't know, like cycling tour. It's not like the top of the list thing, right? Like men's kimono, you know. So I don't need like hundreds of reservations, to be honest. But at the same time, though, I do need to continue advertising it and talking about it, you know, and letting everyone know that I'm doing stuff like that. But at the moment, though, I don't really have the energy left, first of all. And because my schedule is just so unstable, the moment Harumi needs to go outside, I absolutely need to stay at home. So what if I get a reservation at that point? I need to cancel that, right? And all that kind of stuff. So I was like a little bit reluctant to talk about my new activity because I was like, I'm not really sure if I can really be doing it. So, but now with Zen, hopefully, going to nursery school, he won't be home unless he gets really sick or something. He'll be at the nursery school. So the weekdays I'll be able to work. And if you guys take a look at the viewer page, by the way, it's in the description box. I already changed it, so you can take a look at the page. But lessons are held twice a day for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and it's from 11 and also from 2. So I made the settings so that I'll absolutely be done with the lessons by the time we need to go and pick up the kids. So I don't have to worry about if I do the lessons to a too late time, I won't be able to go and pick up the kids. I don't have to worry about that. Even if Harumi has to go past a certain time when she can't go and pick up the kids, I can go still. So I don't have to worry about that so much. So I'll be happy to talk more about my lessons. You can come anytime, I'll be ready anytime, kind of thing, So that's another thing. I want to go and talk with all the agents that I know, travel agents that I know, travel companies, that I know that I've worked with before, and talk about this new activity. Harumi is actually starting a new activity related to kimonos too. We can talk about that very soon again. It's still a little bit unstable. Once we were a little bit more, everything is a bit more set and confirmed. I think we can talk a little bit more about that. But it's going to be an amazing for men and women kimono. It's a more of a luxurious kimono dressing experience kind of thing. Activity kind of thing. But we'll talk about it on another occasion. But it's going to be great. So that's going to be coming up too, and we're going to be talking with some certain people that we've worked with in the past, and we're going to be introducing our new activities to them too. The couple that we're going to be meeting up probably soon. Around the end of May. We're going to consider contacting again soon. But that's the second thing. Third thing, really exciting. I'm really hoping to, again, you guys might remember about this too, but I also became a club leader in Asayama Ichiden Ryu. So in Asayama Ichiden Ryu is the Kobudo Ryuha, the Koryu Ryuha that I train in, as you guys probably know from Instagram and all that kind of stuff. And Asayama Ichiden Ryu holds the online lessons, right? And online lessons, and also the Honbu too. There's the 1st to 5th dan. The dan ranks represents how skilled you are, how much you know about the katas and the forms and stuff. And then once you get to the 3rd dan and taken part in a training camp that we hold annually once, you could sign up for the club leader. And if Sensei, the headmaster, the 22nd headmaster of Asayama Ichiden Ryu, says, okay, we confirm and we accept you as a club leader, then you're considered kind of like a semi-instructor, kind of thing, a helper instructor to help the actual instructors. So club leaders are able to hold their own club sessions to kind of complement the regular trainings that the senseis hold, basically to kind of support the new students who might not be able to catch up with the training so much, because there's so many details we have to learn as HDD, right? So club leaders are capable of doing that. And once you get to the 5th dan and you pass the 5th dan exam, you taking part in training camp 3 times, then you'll be able to become a branch leader, which means you can open up your own dojo wherever you want, and you can start taking money. That's an important point. Club leaders aren't allowed to take money from their students because they're just helping instructors. They're not actual instructors, and you only have a green belt, not a black belt. So of course, again, as I talked to you guys before, when we talked about if we had 100 million yen or something, I talked about that we want to have our 2 weeks ago. Last week we talked about Osaka Expo. Yeah. So my dream is absolutely to open my own dojo, but already though I am accepted as a club leader. So once Zen actually starts going to nursery school, I really do want to start my activities as a club leader in Kyoto. So I want to rent like a certain room, like a gym. Not a problem. Maybe there are some rentable dojos too. In Kyoto. So I think I'll probably be renting such a place maybe once every 2 weeks, maybe weekly, and I'll be announcing when I'll be holding the trainings, like maybe on my social media or stuff like that. And there's been a lot of people recently contacting me because I've been making a lot of videos, with me training, that kind of stuff. Like people are like, I'm traveling in Kyoto now. Where can I, training Asayama Ichiden Ryu with you? I'm actually studying abroad in Kyoto right now. As a student, I'm here for about a year, and I'm really interested in learning Asayama Ichiden Ryu. Like, is there any way you can support me? All that kind of stuff. So, it'd be great if I could do this, for the students. And even if they actually go back to their countries, they'll still be able to continue their training with the online lessons.
Yeah.
And when they actually have a chance to start in person, once you start something, you want to continue doing it, right? So I think they'll be able to jump into the online lessons a little bit easier because they know me, and I'll be there, of course, for all of the online lessons. So holding these club sessions, in-person club sessions in Kyoto will be really cool, I think. If I get the permission, I think the senseis will be happy to announce it maybe in the Japanese channel for Asayama Ichiden Ryu too. So if that happens, that'd be great. It'd be great for me to, and if no one shows up to it, I could just do my own training, which I always do weekly anyways. So it won't be a waste of my time or my my energy or my money to rent the place anyways. If someone does come, there'll be a great occasion for me to teach. If someone doesn't, I can just continue my own training. So stuff like that. So I think it'd be great. I'll be able to create a strong foundation of connections with people who will probably support me when I actually open up my own dojo as a branch leader, and also my experience in teaching too will definitely be so much more enhanced, I believe. So that's probably the most excited thing.
Absolutely.
And another thing, one last thing before we go, because the online lessons are starting soon for Musou Shinden Ryu, but you guys might remember this too. I'm saying you guys might remember this too for every topic that we're talking about. But there's one more podcast that we wanted to do. With Jessica.
Yes.
She's the Kyoto influencer. I don't know how should I introduce her. I don't know. I gotta ask her how she usually introduces herself. But she's kind of like an influencer, content creator, making videos and content and appearing on media as a Kyoto practitioner. Kyoto is the way of Japanese bow. But she also does sports yabusame. She also does naginata, all these different martial arts too. So she's not just a kyudoka, but she does all of the other stuff. And I've been friends with her for quite a long time now. She's an amazing person. She's also a mother. She's a martial artist, and we have so much in common. She's originally from New Zealand, but she is just simply very kind, very happy. What should I say? She's just a really nice person to be around, if that makes sense. So, I was actually talking with her. It'd be great if we can start a podcast together where we talk about, really focus on Budo. And we already have a name for it. We were talking about this last year already, and it's called Beyond the Dojo. So there are so many things that you can learn, not just within the dojo, but outside the dojo too. Talking with people outside your own dojo, beyond the dojo. You'll be able to, there's so much knowledge and experience that we can share with each other, especially because if you've been following, for example, Jessica's Instagram and such, she literally trains every single day. Every day she has a story of her training, like today's training, almost every single day. I'm sure there's some days where she, of course, has to spend time with her family and all that kind of stuff. So maybe only on the weekdays, but it feels like she's doing it every day because she always has those stories, and she's showing up in promotional videos and social media and TV shows and all that kind of stuff. And she really inspires me very much. I admire her and respect her very much, So because I love Budo too. The things that she does and things I do are just completely different. And I love that. She doesn't train with katanas or the kama or the tamangsari or the staff, but she does the bow, she does yabusame, rides horses, and she does naginata, which are stuff that I don't do at all. And I don't. Well, Asayama Ichiden Ryu might be reviving the naginata techniques, but it doesn't really focus on it, right? Maybe just less than 10 kata will probably be revived. So it's like another side weapon, right? Another special weapon. But not focusing on naginata itself, that's a whole martial art. So there's probably plenty of more techniques, that she can share with us. So it's going to be really, really exciting. The alarm's going to be coming off soon. Really, really excited if we can start about that too. I definitely need to discuss with Jessica first. I'm sure she doesn't listen to our podcast. But I'll probably be contacting her. So once it's confirmed that Zen will be going to the nursery school, I'll definitely be contacting her. So we might be able to get started with the podcast a little bit earlier than we imagined. So
I'm so looking forward to it.
That's going to be so exciting as well. There's so many things we'll probably have to prepare and such if that actually happens. So it's going to be a lot of fun. All right. Then, guys, I was doing a lot of talking today, not so much for Harumi, but please forgive me. There's always people who are angry when I don't let Harumi talk. But
I talked a lot today.
Well, today, that's the stuff that I wanted to mainly talk about. But it's going to be really, really exciting. And next week, you'll be able to know if Zen actually goes to the nursery school or not, too. So it's going to be a quick update. So I hope you can look forward to it. Okay. Then, guys, is there anything you want to say before we leave? Or want to add before you go?
No?
All right, then perfect. Then, guys, we'll let you guys know how everything went next week. And if everything does okay, then we're really going to be doing the stuff that we mentioned today. So I hope you can look forward to it.
Yay!
Okay? All right, then, guys, thank you so much for your time. Bye-bye.
Bye.